Kind of been the trend to ban Thresh on one side, to ban Ali on the next side, and then priority pick the Jarvan. If Alistar is left up, I want to see them give this to Mako.
Yes.
Yep, Tristana final ban, expecting something along those lines, but it was early picked or just removed entirely by EDG towards RNG. And respect towards Scout, obviously. 2 games in a row, LeBlanc has been massive.
Now this is what we've been saying all series long, is something you'd have to do. Not just for Mako, but to take away from Ming now as his MVP performer with the Alistar. We have to remember that at the same time, all these other champions are left open. Picking Alistar is probably the highest priority, but MLXG could get his Gragas again.
Yes. Okay. Game 5. You've got Mako. He's the other dominant member on EDG. He's been with them the longest outside of Clear Love. Let the captain, let the shot caller, let him lead the charge. He's been running a train on the LPL, on Invictus Gaming most recently with this pick. I'm so happy that they gave kind of Mako the growing up stage, like Clear Love handing him the baton. It is your time to carry. You can submit this final for us.
Yep. And the carry he is. I'm definitely going to say it. He is a carry on that lineup. And that first pick of sentiment towards that. On the opposite side, though, RNG, they go back towards a pick that they know that works. Gragas locked in as the first pick. They will look towards their second now as well.
Now we're a trophy.
Now we're a trophy. I do believe... Nope, we're still in champion section.
Now back to me.
Now back to me. And there we go. Jarvan picked up by RNG, but that's actually a takeaway now from EDG, actually.
Yeah, it is. It's a takeaway. It's also very strong in the hands of RNG. The thing that's interesting right now, though, is that EDG have completely adapted their draft phase on blue side. Red side was empowered through this set, but EDG are the first team to really give it to them with blue side drafting.
And this is very similar to the draft that really carried them through against Invictus Gaming. Again, it's how they play around the blue side Baron, getting Mako behind the pit, using the calling to push people away, using the Sejuani ultimate.
Yeah, Clearlove said he was going to play that Sejuani, but on the opposite side, what was left open, it was Xiaohu's Orianna that was banned out in the previous games, Rusty.
But it's not just his Orianna, they've got it with a Jarvan. So again, a big part of the combo, why would you have the Orianna third before it gets banned? Because you have to pick it now, or it will get banned as you've already got that Jarvan locked in. So I like this from RNG. That is a very strong team fighting composition already cemented.
And now they get to try to sculpt the top lane to make sure that Let Me gets a free ride on that Jarvan.
On the opposite side, Thresh removed from Ming. One of his most played in this split.
Probably Rumble with the Renekton if I was to remove another champion
I
that
would
has
agree.
control. But Mouse has already had his Maokai removed. Probably the next best thing would be the Rumble.
And then it's a question of how deep can Mouse really go with his champion pool. He's never really been targeted out.
But he's not targeted right now either, because Azaya will be the final ban towards iBoy. There's another big carry in the bottom lane. And there's actually just been no AD carry picked up yet outside of the Lucian in from EDG. And while it's a flex for RNG, most likely going towards Scout in the mid lane.
I mean, iBoy has shown a prevalence towards utility ADCs when he doesn't get the hyper carries like the Kog'Maws, like the Tristanas. Yes, there's still the likes of Twitch available if either of these ADCs want to go the distance, but I expect iBoy to stay true to his Varus tendencies.
Uzi, he knows.
I think we all know he's looking at Ashe duty, but the main hub is a necessity. I was expecting Varus, maybe Ashe. He has shown how good he is. He's one of the few AD carries in the world that manages to make Ashe look like a hyper carry pretty much at all times.
Exactly, and it's also great for the composition. Toss out the arrow, throw in everything else they have for the wombo combo. But if you can do this, I can do it too, says iBoy.
It also makes their 2v2 already very dominant in terms of its pushing power. You're looking across at an Alistar, he's not going to help much there. So the only champion that really can match Ashe is Caitlyn in terms of push.
Varus actually going to be the final lock-in though.
Line damage, AoE damage, Varus is a good option, but this is what we expected. It's going to be the 2 utility ADCs.
Yeah, but also that final ban was Xayah, not Rumble, and it does give the possibility for Mouse now to pick it here.
It's a part of his most played champions, Rumble. It's almost expected that he'll go towards this. And now that he does, he locks it in. You have to remember that they're missing one of those extra tanks. And that's where the Sejuani and Alistar make up for it. That's where Varus, having engaged, is able to help compensate for all of that.
And I also feel like this is one of the biggest mistakes that RNG have made in this draft phase. This is an excellent composition for Rumble. You've got so much physical damage on the rest of the map. You're free to take a magic damage top laner. It is one of Mouse's comfort picks. So, you know, by targeting iBoy, I think they kind of gave Mouse exactly what he wanted and exactly what EDG's comp needed.
We're getting a lot of Game 5 champions coming across here. Pulse, Karma is one of those. Alistar also the other one that got the victory for EDG on the back of Mako. It's going to be one of those games, I think.
Yep, that final pick locked in. And RNG, I mean, they do have a good comp at the end of the day. They have the engage, they have the damage, they have all the pieces, but are you preferring the EDG composition, Frost?
I mean, I like what EDG have done with this composition in the past. Right now, the primary thing that I'm looking at is all the pressure and the priority on minions that RNG have, and what that means for MLXG to start blitzing into ClearLove's jungle. If you control ClearLove, you control EDG. When they get ahead in this series, it's because he's getting those ganks off bottom, that he's able to dig his lanes out of it. If MLXG is constantly in his face, he doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to gank his lanes. They've got so much pressure. They can do that work for him.
I do have to contrast that for you and say that Lucian into Orianna, there is a world where Scout is unlocked to help ClearLove in his times of trouble. Maybe ClearLove isn't unlocked, but if Scout is to help him, then suddenly the 2v2 becomes a dangerous game.
Yeah, my eyes are on this bottom lane. When I make the statement Ashe Karma, I mean, that lane has one purpose.
Push, push, push. They'll have help as well in from the jungle. And just honestly, a lot of this early game will be looking at those junglers, seeing where they path, where they put their pressure, where they spend their time. MXG's elite didn't work out. He's back over towards the Gragas. Sejuani on the opposite side for ClearLove.
And it's so important when you have Sejuani that your lanes have to make space for you, so you can easily get into your level 6. Now that said, in the LPL, the junglers do like Sejuani into Gragas because there is some counterplay, you know, interrupting his belly bop and things like that. But we'll see if ClearLove's quick enough to execute on it.
I mean, this is it. This is the final chapter, the final episode that we get to witness here today in this best of 5. The 5th game between EDG and RNG. All of these stories colliding. And so we'll have a happy ending, so we'll have a bad ending. But someone is going to be crowned the champion here today. These two world Cs going at it. Who will take it? EDG and RNG!
ClearLove, the most decorated LPL player has ever produced, versus Uzi, the international superstar.
It's a big, big start to this game as well. The crowd's into it. ClearLove and MLXG, we said that the early important parts of this map, if ClearLove is unlocked and EDG are successful, if Scout lets it happen, then EDG might succeed. But at the same time, Uzi and Ming, you mentioned it, that hard push. I mean, they're both going to be close to the same spot on the map.
And it's so important that Uzi and Ming are successful. Yes, it's about unlocking ClearLove, but it's also about keeping Mako locked down. If you allow the Bash brothers of ClearLove and Mako to start just blitzing into the mid lane, and suddenly Xiao, who is dealing with a 3v1 scenario, that's exactly what EDG wants. So pressure on Uzi and Ming. They don't have to kill iBoy and Mako, they just need to hold them in place.
Put them down, suppress them. And RNG are going to start off on their bottom side here. We'll start off in this blue, but from that, the crowd is absolutely insane right now. I'm not sure if you can hear it at home, but Uzi's fan club is just going off. And rightly so, because this is it. This is the chance for Uzi finally to get that title. And he's had 2 more games before this. And that little voice at the back of his head saying, "You're cursed, you can't do this."
ClearLove actually got underneath the vision. Now they do know that he started bottom side of the jungle because
very early.
Alistar revealed it. This is
going to the
and Uzi
scuttle,
hasn't
you have
even
to
seen
imagine
it gone all the way around.
cheese!
Uzi going
Uzi!
towards the top side. He's locked down. Clear the follow after as well. The knockup. Me. There's nothing he could do. EDG claim first blood. And maybe they put to rest Uzi's dream.
And who else would you want first blood against but not Uzi on the side of RNG? As his level 1, the cheese from ClearLove, red buff to bottom lane. They take him apart.
In response, though, you immediately see the on the way ping towards the blue buff. Now, that does mean that Scout needs to pull back, place a delayed ward, but suddenly this is a very different Game 5 from the rest of the series. Mako and iBoy feeling much more confident in this 2v2.
You can see how measured it is actually from the side of EDG, knowing that the ward is going to be there from Scout. The fact he has it available to place there instead of in the river.
MLXG has to be so careful here because Rumble has the push priority. He can easily collapse down.
He's actually looking towards Rumble first.
That's smart.
Yeah, he's going towards this top lane. Level 3 flash, body slam. Let Me doesn't connect. The Flagged Dragon actually conserves his own flash, so in the end it is a flash for Flash. We'll see if he actually goes up there one more time. Meanwhile, ClearLove taking this opportunity to get some farm under his belt.
You have to remember that Ashe used the hawk shot, spotted exactly where the Sejuani is, so MLXG still got free time around this area of the jungle.
Still needs to give respect, though, that Scout has the priority on the mid lane, so he's able to roam. He's going to look for the blue orb and probably scout Gragas. Nope. Threw it the wrong way.
No, went the other direction just to see if he was happening to be in the jungle.
Knows the Krugs are up though, so by process of elimination, he has to be in a small amount of areas, and whether that's recalled or in the river.
Clearlove checks around the corner for the Glomp, like, where is this guy?
A bit of a trade happening in mid lane. Xiaohu taking that double tap from Scout, starting to assert his dominance even though he roamed topside. Actually went for the initial call on top of that, so...
Yeah. Very aggressive build, rookie-esque almost, in how he's going to be building himself. Now, Scout is one of the cleanest Lucians that I have ever witnessed next to Rookie in our league. Xiaohu, very good at it, but I've never seen someone perform as well as both Scout and Rookie have.
Now, all respect to Rookie and Scout, but I want to quickly look at the bottom lane and point out the fact that Uzi and Ming didn't burn their flashes in that last, cheesy engagement, so very well for RNG. It means that they have the confidence that they can continue to be forward.
Yeah.
And people have kind of forgotten how punishing Karma and Ashe can be. It's not just their ability to push the wave, it's their ability to chunk you out and whittle you down underneath the tower.
Now, that being said, though, iBoy still has the advantage in that lane, even though they are pushing in. But back towards this mid lane, still trading off all those potions now, taken away from both Scout and Xiaohu. Just focusing in on these junglers. First back from MLXG, gets his Tracker's Knife. Also goes into that Scryer's Trinket, so we'll be able to start putting down some pressure around this first dragon, which is a mountain. The teams will be looking for this as the drone flies overhead. Just catches Clearlove on this, so yep.
They have the caution ping on top of him, one of the only indicators that we do have on if that was actually providing them the vision. It does. Very thin cone of vision it actually provides unless it pops at the area. So.
Yeah, just tag the very edge of Soziani's massive hitbox. Clearlove actually farming this Crow camp, so there's a chance moves towards his bottom side. MLXG doing the same in the mid lane, but the recalls in from the mid laners. That'll be the initial backs.
He's going straight in bottom without finishing the Krug camp. I'm not too sure on that one. Wants straight in, knows there's no vision.
It's the classic SOFM. I think they just suspect that MLXG is in the area.
And they weren't far off. He was near mid. Scout's also placing ward, so they're very much just trying to survive through the Gragas ganks. If there's any kind of experience advantage they're unaware of because of Clearlove's early gank, they need to find that out.
But so far, a very calm, I say that calm, it was a cheesy level 2 gank, but other than that, Clearlove has been preserved. He's been able to walk through his jungle, make a full clear. He has first blood, so now has the Bomby Cinder. A lot of power and a lot of easy clear speed there. It's exactly what they need for this Sejuani pick.
And also, there seems to be a big declaration of intent from iBoy Scout and EDG. Double calls coming out, trying to farm up, but it's the Cataclysm in the top lane. Flag drag misses, Mal sidesteps it, but ultimately all he can do is try and hit this minion wave, because eventually he's going to die to the hands of MLXG.
Repeat gank in the top lane, knowing that there's no flash there from Mouse, and fantastic work from MLXG, and Let Me flashing onto him, not letting him escape.
Uh-oh, Xiaohu.
Taking this time to clear the wall, because Clearlove is over
flash.
the wall. He does have flash, makes the jump, but so does both members of EDG. They want him dead. Shockwave will buy enough time, will win it. Oh, the cutting, it's enough damage. Scout gets the kill.
Oh, he might be... All right, he's going to survive. That was very close from the side of Scout. Just a little bit off with his culling direction, but they get the trade. EDG still on the board.
And such an uncharacteristic mistake from Xiaohu. The fact that the jungler was exposed top lane, they knew that MLXG wasn't in your back pocket, and he chooses to overextend for a ward. He's going to be kicking himself after that.
And now it's reset, look towards the next couple of plays, but EDG are now commanding the lead so far in this game. Not only just gone for these kills, they're actually getting the kills on top of that as well. And now we are looking towards those next steps from RNG to try and pull back.
And what this means is Scout can now get pressure in that mid lane, although MLXG's doing his best to try to hold the way for him.
MLXG is having a fantastic showing in this 5th game as well. Xiaohu may be caught out of position, may be uncharacteristic, but he's got the rest of the roster working around him. Uzi maybe at a CS deficit, but they'll still have the push for the most part.
And it is still that wombo combo composition, so even if they fall behind the lanes, you can never count them out.
No shockwave.
Being chased down, flag drag.
He has flash.
Him here.
No
MLXG
Cataclysm.
does have his own flash. Mouse should be able to scrap shield out, and as he does, also had Mako heading up just to ward any would-be aggressors off.
Yeah, he'll be alright in the end, of course. Rumble, when no one else has anything up to kill you.
Mako hasn't been spotted. They know he's not in the lane, but they don't know that he's topside. Normally, again, it's the Megan factor. Normally when the support goes missing, he's wandering the bottom side or the blue side of the jungle. He's actually slipped in underneath here.
Yeah.
And just walked in and trampled.
Yeah, they spotted him in the river, I believe, just at the entrance. There was a caution ping on him. But RNG, understood this. That's actually a very nice teleport to try and stop the minions from dying to the equalizer. I don't think it'll do enough just this wave though, but it buys them a lot of tempo.
Yeah, definitely will be able to take this tower on the next wave here, and it will just be down to who can pick that tower up first. It looks like it actually will be able to RNG now because of that play. Yeah, this tower is not even being scratched here by iBoy.
It's also the fact that they have the Jargon as well, so they can continue to push through if they choose so, because the wave is preserved.
Yeah, there's no teleport there for Mouse as well on that Rumble.
So. And there's no equalizer.
Trying to convert this into mid lane play, gets the knock up, and the lockdown as well for Clearlove. That will be Clearlove securing that kill, though. He is knocked back by MLXG. Simply doesn't have the damage to get the Returker.
There you go, Clearlove.
What? Clearlove just got nailed by 2 turrets.
It's not great right there. That
Didn't
said,
really have anywhere to go.
Good job on the dive.
I mean, generally you'd recommend just walking through one tower instead of optimizing the damage you're taking, but I mean, RNG will be quite happy with that. They look towards the Mountain Dragon now.
But the thing that I want to underline is that, yes, Clearlove got the kill, but it was Mako leading the charge, and that's why the Alistar is such a big pick for him. You know, we've been talking about Mata this entire series, really, in passing when he's not in the game, but you can feel his spirit, his imprint still left on the LPL.
And that was max range body slam pulverize as well coming out of Mako. Like, he could have flashed and done nothing with it. That's how close he was, but pixel perfect coming out of the Alistar. Impressive from Mako.
Zhao, he was trying to make his way towards the top side, though. The drone again. Definitely located EDG. You know, definitely saw him a couple seconds ago. And now we're just back to looking to donate over these buffs. Will be a blue going over to Scout. Gives us some time to look at these items as well as they're being picked up. Uzi got that BF sword very, very early on. Looks like he might go towards the Zeo item on top of that. Meanwhile, iBoy just heading towards Blade of Ruin King. Same thing for Scout as their first items. Again, Scout not going towards that early Hex Drinker like Zhao, who did in Game 3.
Doesn't really need to. A lot of pressure was placed on Xiaohu. He's also not going to bring the same amount of burst damage as LeBlanc will versus an Orianna.
We are at a stage in the game where Rift Herald is something that we should be looking towards as well. EDG have actually put most of their emphasis around that area where RNG have not, as they were pushing bottom lane. So inside track for EDG if they were looking towards it.
And EDG are just actually playing the vision game right now, trying to choke out the vision in River, North and South. As you said, Rift Herald will be an objective, and Scout is actually doing just that. Finds Ming in the jungle. He's actually chasing down onto this one, lands the tether, but now he's locked in place. Uzi will follow with the arrow. That's a couple seconds while the rest of the team will try and collapse in. Scout actually turned his one around. Back to
that cast.
But throw back in, pinballed into the team. Scout will fall.
MLXG is on fire right now, but the fight's not over.
It's still ensuing. Look at Let Me. He's looking for this potential engage. Cataclysm comes down on top of 2. Shockwave ready to be used. Mouse over the wall as well. There it is. Flag drag. Now Let Me's underneath the tower. Final tower shot. Clear with the kill.
It's getting very messy now on Summoner's Rift. RNG desperate for the re-engage. The Shockwave, he wanted to hold on to it, wanted to hit the carries, but he had to go on the tanks. It was then or never, and it just wasn't what they were after.
And now they have the creep wave, but most importantly, the health and the blue buffs on multiple members, so they can continue to chip away not only at the structure, but at EDG underneath it. Fish in a barrel.
And to be perfectly honest with you, you have to look at why all of this starts. Scout, aggressive, out of position. Varus ultimate apparently used, but Ming also throughout all of that fight actually uses the Mantra W to keep himself sustained. So just very smart from the side of RNG. They were very much aware of what was happening and how they're going to counteract that. And then a keg of all kegs to top it all off.
We get to see this one more time, and Scout just went so deep.
Right into the Ash Arrow, but like you said, all eyes on MLXG. He'll throw the cask right here just to make sure that there's no exit opportunity for Scout, and then doubles down with the CC belly bop.
Oh, speaking of,
I feel like we just saw this one, but this is not a replay. This is happening in top lane, and Scout will die again. Setup from MLXG.
Scout had flash the last time. He wasn't able to use it, but this time no summoner spells available. If he's caught, he is dead. RNG, they've brought this game completely back.
And why is Scout that far forward top lane? They didn't have the vision to support that. There is a single blue ward just underneath in the tri-brush and a massive creep wave and no information on where RNG are.
RNG actually trying to double down in his top lane, pushing in this massive minion wave. There is a rotation from Clearlove and Mako, however, to try and stymie this, and it will force them back. Mid lane was also an objective for EDG, so it is 2 towers to 1. Let Me is waiting in the bush. That has been warded, so he'll actually just go after these Raptors instead, as Zhao Hu comes in here and also assists. But EDG, I mean, the hero of the last game just keeps getting caught.
the most inconsistent member on the team. They very much were aware of what he was going to be doing, clearing the wave. Too big of a minion wave. No vision of where they were. Could predict out of MLXG. That's the flash that he has an advantage that Scout does not.
You know, Scout probably... Oh,
Shockwave never ends to follow up. Mako still had the unbreakable will, and he'll just stroll on out.
Also has his flash, so holds on to that, just burns the necessary cooldown and strolls out of it.
Such a forward-moving Game 5 out of both of these teams. It's only 4-4 in kills, but we're seeing some constant movement. Every time there's a replay, we're out into a pick.
I mean, it's just aggression after aggression, play after play. You know, you head into a lot of Game 5s between big regions, and it's like, all right, let's play it safe, make sure that we farm up. I saw the 2 calls now. It's just like, yeah, EDG looking towards 30 minutes, but we've had 8 kills and like 50 more fights and skirmishes.
I mean, this is the climax of an entire year's worth of performance here, and the fact that we didn't back down, that we came out swinging, just speaks to the tempo and the spirit of the LPL.
And almost as you'd expect, Clearlove is the man with all of the kills for EDG in this third game, their third potential victory. When you look at the side of RNG, it's actually MLXG. We're getting a jungle battle.
Yep, and it's actually being on the Gragas as well. You know, we did draw attention towards the junglers because it might spark another fight in the mid lane here. Just needs one catalyst for us.
Uzi needs to be so careful. Mako still has flash here.
Uzi stepping up.
He still has flash.
But he just right on top of Equalizer comes out as well. Uzi is dead. And MLXG close to follow. Not a kill over to the Rumble.
I don't know what he thought was going to happen there.
Uzi, that was a very big positional error. The tower dies. Maybe he expected MLXG to come in front of him, but either way, he's the one who goes down. He falls short, and suddenly EDG continue to push in.
They'll take this inner turret for sure here, Rusty. And it seems like Xiaohu, not much he can really do other than throw out his ball and stop and continue and pushing for us.
But this is the EDG that we expected to come into the series. If they're playing at their best, this is what they look like. We said EDG have been an early game team this entire split. It's been non-existent this series because of the pressure that Uzi and Ming have been exerting, and now suddenly Shu is on the other foot. I want to quickly look at this flash. I think... no, he doesn't get off, because Uzi has flash. Oh, he just burns it right there.
Yeah, he flashes on top of the equalizer.
I mean, maybe he just thought that he'd have the window or the reflexes.
Not sure what he thought, unfortunately, and that's going to be it. So, Uzi, with that death, it doesn't mean a crazy amount. Like, 2 turrets is now well and truly in the EDG court with momentum. But they're still perfectly fine as a duo. It's a utility duo. Just needs to hit those arrows. There's the rest of his team to still step up right now, though. And Xiaohu hasn't been stepping up as much as you need.
And we saw it right there as well, right? Uzi just tossing out the arrow, burning a flash from Mouse, burning these resources over time, and, you know, we'll come back to try and benefit RNG later on as they continue these plays. But it's very stock standard, right? You toss out the Ash Arrow, you look for the follow-up from the Jarvan and the Orianna, and that's your formula. That's how you're going to get these fights to happen.
You know what it is, though, is there is currently a BF Sword, Zeal, and QSS as the items for Uzi. That is such a ragtag mixture of items. That assortment will never be completed into anything when you compare that to iBoy. 1 full Blade of the Ruined King.
Streamlined.
He's ready to fight.
He's ready to go. Top lane, though, did complete a big item in terms of Black Cleaver. Mid lane as well, Xiaohu ready to go. But you're right, there is a mismatch in terms of Uzi.
Deep teleport.
This is very deep. What's Let Me looking for? It seems if he can cut someone off. He finds iBoy. Misses the flaming grab, but look at the damage!
Just gets one hit.
Xiaohu and Let Me combined.
And that's all it takes, is a split-second decision like that. It's now inside track for RNG. The Rift Herald goes down. They've set up the trap on the side of this tower.
RNG definitely firing back. And Clearlove will take the long route back towards this mid lane, but Herald gets the work done on this first tower. And this could be a second one now to RNG.
They've got everyone in position.
Herald's charging up. Equalizer used pretty much to take out the minion wave and Herald in one fell swoop, and that will be exactly what it does. Tara does survive towards EDG.
Yeah, very clever equalizer usage out of EDG, knowing there's not going to be a fight to happen. iBoy was dead, so they just want to hold on to as much as they can. But the Herald usage, the fact that another pick is utilized this time by RNG to generate objectives, that's basically what this game has become. Get the pick, take the objective. That's probably how this game's going to be decided.
It's just this constant back and forth. One moment you're saying EDG jumped in, they've managed to get this tower and a second tower, and now they're in control. And RNG make a creative play, jump all the way back to a super deep ward and manage to fire back and take a kill, take a tower.
Ultimately, EDG are still in control, however, as they are getting more of the objectives down.
And it's not just the 5v5 or the fact that they have their streamlined items, it's the fact that they can play that side lane. So as Baron becomes a thing in 1 minute 27, Scout's a big deal, and he's hard to kill unless you're bringing multiple members. So who's going to match him?
And RNG are just looking towards lane assignments right now, but it's talking about like the dragon is going to be coming up, and EDG do have control of the map to start this one off. Right now in a head-on fist fight, I actually got to hold that thought because Xiaohu being chased out here, Jada Corruption, Flash, and everything used on Xiaohu, but eventually he falls.
How clean is Scout on Lucian? That's exactly what we're saying, the fact that he knows his target. EDG are behind him, the vision is set up. Xiaohu, that's the second time this game has been caught placing vision by how quickly EDG jump on him.
Here comes MLXG though.
Off to the side, doesn't choose to go all the way in on this because he knows that in a moment's notice, Scout can rotate towards this play as you see him right now meet up with his team.
But Uzi has a big window to clear this creep wave out before the next creep wave is set for EDG. So unfortunately, while I understand what Scout was doing, it means that he's not there to help pressure down the bottom tower, and that's ultimately a mistake. EDG could have looked for a dive potential there or push down another inner structure.
I mean, so many of the plays that have been made this game have been based off of those picks and individual members like getting caught out. Is this an individual member thing? Is this a vision problem from both teams, or what is it?
You could accredit it to multiple things. I would say vision's always going to be the biggest part of any kind of pick that happens, but at the same time, compositions excel at generating picks, and the fact that Scout can play Lucian and get a pick, not exactly going to be related to composition. That's more about vision, so that's where you'd be looking.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, RNG are falling behind in the gold. Team who has more gold to spend is going to have more wards on the map. And EDG are also setting the tempo, that they're getting to the lanes first, they're pushing them out, they're moving into the jungle, and so RNG are always playing catch-up. Someone's going to walk into a dark pocket. But it could be something as basic as communication. You know, maybe Xiaohu's told, wait, the team's coming, but he just chooses to step forward.
Yeah, and then walk into that dark patch, get picked. And it's when does it start really impacting the game? And so far, you can say actually it has impacted EDG a lot. They are ahead in gold. And that was such a big thing, you know, a couple games back. It's like this is the first time they're ahead in gold. But now, we're actually just doing it again in Game 5.
And it's about to go from bad to worse for RNG because the Baron is now in play. And again, this is the comp that I expected to see EDG fly out of the gate with. This is what they dominated Invictus Gaming with. And it's about how they play blue side Baron. Set it up, sweep it out, get Mako on the backside of the pit, and just start throwing ultimates, throwing picks.
Two-bladed the Ruin King users, and the Leandri's Torment, if Rumble's ever nearby, means the Baron threat. RNG have to respect that 100%. They'll do it super quickly.
Another teleport.
Or they could also try and find a pick onto Scout right here. Teleport coming in, but Clear's going to ward him off. Scout, he's having to kite back towards MLXG, but the ultimate misses. Flag drag, and the flash as well. He needs the Cataclysm to secure this, and will go down. Mako turned up to the play, but he's trying to disengage for Clearlove.
They had to use it a lot more than they would have liked to secure Scout there. Ultimately, with the teleport, it had to be a flash flag drag and Cataclysm, but RNG, they get the pick. Scout has been taken apart.
But they can't immediately turn towards the Baron. That's level 10 to level 12. Favor and stronger smite in Clearlove's pocket. And without cast, they don't feel confident that they can create the space for MLXG not to deal with the contest.
I mean, I was about to ask the question, you know, what's the optimal response from RNG right here into EDG, who are ahead? They are going to try and control the Baron and try and accelerate this game. I guess MLXG randomly getting a pick on side lane works for them.
I mean, is it MLXG getting a pick, or what Scout giveth, Scout taketh away?
That's also a possibility, but aside from that, what should it be now? The vision game? What are they trying to do to stymie EDG's aggression? With
a Scout getting picked there, it wastes a lot of their time and a lot of the momentum. You have to understand that when EDG are setting up this play, that's 2 minutes and so much gold. And when he dies, it's okay, back to the drawing board. Now we need to reset the entire map, move our vision back in. So this is actually just 4 minutes for RNG and a Cloud Dragon.
And it was a flash body slam from MLXG. It was an Ash Arrow dodge, a Gragas ultimate dodge, and then Let Me also has to use his ultimate. So in the scope of things, that was not bad from Scout. Yes, he was caught out of position. Yes, he dies ultimately in the end, but 3 ultimates means that it's way too difficult to get to that Baron straight afterwards, especially this early in the game. EDG pretty content with a 4v5 with a Rumble on their team composition around an objective like that.
Uzi will get himself this red buff here, and he'll return to the top lane. Looks like Ming will be in tow here. Make sure that he doesn't just randomly get caught out as well, because that's pretty much been the name of the game for both teams. Cloud Dragon will be another one coming up after this, and this has been triple Cloud Dragons. So Dragons have been giving and taking in this series.
The thing that we really need to look for in terms of the scoreboard is Uzi's itemization right now. He's now had his Hurricane upgraded. He's looking for the Infinity Edge, has the QSS, and he has to be close to that, and that's going to be massive. Like Rusty was saying earlier, Uzi's one of the few players that makes Ashe look like a hyper carry.
Yeah, certainly the case. So we need those items before he can do that, unfortunately. Till now, he's the Arrow Man.
Oh, check the bush! Oh, no, the bush! Yellow bush!
They found it. They got the ward.
So,
yeah. And just control now from EDG around the Baron area. This is what we mentioned. RNG, they have to feel this need to fight or to check because of how quickly EDG can do it. It's not just a bait if RNG don't have vision. It's always potentially real.
The unfortunate thing, though, is that EDG haven't prepped their sideways, which Scad's going to do right now, but Letme also has the advantage of pushing down bottom, and Mouse doesn't have TP.
Neither have TP, to be fair. The question for me is, like, sidewave prep, it's a possibility. Letme could go down there and force Mouse to come to him.
See, I think it's okay. I mean, you would assume that EDG would then, say, 4v5, turn on the Baron, but with the threat of Shockwave in such a small area, even if the Jarvan's not there, you don't want to take that gamble with how close this game still is.
Someone's going to have to address that bottom wave now, though, from EDG, and that's going to be probably... No, he's actually running back towards the mid lane. Ping has gone down by RNG. Actually, it's a signal that this wave is going to crash and probably take that turret by the looks of that stack.
Yeah, it should be Mouse that goes to deal with it, but he can't afford to recall if Scout's not there in the first place. So if EDG can set up vision, set up control before they send a Rumble anywhere, his teleport's up in about a minute either way. They may have to play it slow. They may have to actually concede a structure in the bottom lane.
Yeah, just to show face and just allow themselves to be around this area. Constantly clearing out wards. The amount of wards that have died around this pit is actually crazy in the last 2 minutes or so. EDG constantly clearing these away. There's also potential flank wards in from RNG and those teleports out from Letme. Scout just caught up in the Baron's rage, as that one was just triggered by RNG. And it's come down around to another Baron play. Right now, who has control of the area? Is it EDG?
100% EDG, and a lot of it's on their composition as well as the fact of when their comp spikes. We're still waiting on one completed item for Xiaohu. He'll hurt now because it is a fairly fragile comp from EDG. I mean, you've got Rumble, Varus, Lucian. If he hits them with the Shockwave, they're going to explode. But the big thing is that RNG bought enough time for Uzi. He now has his Infinity Edge. He has the Hurricane. He's actually quite strong.
Yeah, he's very strong now. He's well equipped to be team fighting, you'd have to imagine as well. And not just an arrow bot.
Yeah, and when you look at the tank line from EDG, I mean, they don't have like the big 3 set items. They are still semi-fragile. Ashe does have kill pressure on them.
With that in mind, then, in a straight-on fist fight, who would you actually give the team fight to?
I mean, you've got a Jarvan Orianna on one side with an Ashe that's now doing damage. That's a team fighting composition. When you look at EDG's composition, to contrast that, there's a lot of outplay that's necessary for them to win that fight, but they're doing this in vision of that hawk shot.
It just got hawk shot.
But there's Mako.
Here comes another drone, and it spotted him. It's down to half. Clear jumps over the wall, but the teleport has been started by RNG. EDG might actually just full disengage from this and be happy with the teleport.
And he completed the teleport because he had to be there. They don't even choose to kill Letme. They let him go away. Teleport advantage now for EDG. They can play this slow. They can set this one up.
RNG actually closing off this path. Arrow is looped by Uzi, but here's the rest of the team there, and unfortunately Clear was the one to soak it.
But it still zones them out, and like she's also being a nuisance on the side. It's allowing them chip damage on this tower.
Wait, look at this. They actually can't go through it. They step right through the orb right there with the Shockwave. There could be the equalizer, but does barely anything. And in the backline, Uzi will be falling, and the rest of EGG converge. Xiaohu putting down the damage, but he's just being zoned away by Scout. He flashes the wall into the face of MLXG. It's a 2-for-2 trade overall.
I think that's all the trade's going to be for the moment, but EDG still looking with their jungler around the Baron area. RNG's health bars are so low that you'd have to expect EDG to have control still.
And the only saving grace is the fact that Clearlove doesn't have something like Warmogs to regen him up. Although they're turning onto it. Sejuani's a little under half health. Is there Honey Fruit? Nope.
But Two-Blade of the Ruined King uses the ability to tank it. It's always going to be an ever-present threat for RNG to have to consider. MLXG not allowed to recall, but in that Smite battle, it's a battle that EDG choose not to take. Once again, teleport advantage is theirs. Compliments of what they forced out of Letme to start all of this off.
And this looked so incredibly good to start it off because everybody from EGG passed through the Shockwave, and you're like, this should be a win for RNG.
And that's what we expect from Xiaohu, placement like that. But Mako makes his way into the back line, and it's Uzi that drops so early in the fight.
Yeah, and unfortunately for that shockwave, it hit 3 people, but it was everyone except for Scout and iBoy, who then flashes over aggressively, but he's met with a body slam as EDG still are able to do work. However, note the turret fell.
We got it, boys.
So RNG advanced in that trade. It was a 2-for-2 trade after all, and the mid tower did also eventually collapse. There was a lot of chip damage as EDG couldn't make it through that choke point. So good job sending the tanks in to soak that. Uzi's chasing after, he's slowing down Mako, looking for the arrow potential as well. Flag drag. And he goes right through that one. Chain of Corruption wasn't even close to landing.
Mouse
and Mouse is up to the side. Where's Equalizer going down? There it is. Right on top of RNG. Is this the turnaround? They could clear him. He's still alive. 2 kills to EDG.
They're continuing to chase.
Ming, he will be falling. Cunning puts him down. Double kill to Scout.
Not just 2 kills, 3, and it means the Baron is open for them to take. They don't need to try and siege into an Orianna. The free objective that makes that sieging easier in future engages.
And the only thing is that, yes, She is alive, but he doesn't have flash, and he has to go through Mako first.
The couch
this is
to
just going to be it. Yeah, EDG just going to take this one. There is no contest right now from RNG. They actually just... She's gone bot side to take Grom. He knows he can't stop this one, and EDG get themselves a Baron. Half an hour on the clock.
And they're getting closer and closer to that 10k gold difference as we take another look at this fight.
And it's RNG starting it off as well, and I'm not against this. I feel like they just needed to back up from this moment, call it quits, but still, they press forwards. Uzi still continues. Shockwave, Gragas cast, none of it was important, it all missed. And then all of EDG just crashed down on top of an equalizer.
I mean, the target selection to just hit the Gargoyle Stoneplate Sejuani, that is 2 massive ultimates, Shockwave and Enchanted Arrow.
Yeah, and the Gragas cast that missed them because it was Shockwave into the team. So he pulls him away from the cast. You can feel that momentum EDG are riding. That might be the final straw for RNG.
He wants to try and fire back though, and that will come off the back of Uzi. He will fire the first shot. And that has to be a win in these fights, but EDG are positioned perfectly. They're playing front to back so perfectly that RNG simply can't find purchase right here.
And that's the thing. Maybe Uzi's starting to crack. It was his arrow that led this. Maybe he starts to speak up. You see him on the player cam right now. He is talking a bit.
Yep. What does the perfect fight look like for right now from RNG?
You land the wombo right in Scout's teeth.
There's no QSSs there between the Lucian and the Varus. They are both heal users. There's no Mikhails to keep them alive either. The Ash Arrow hits. They can wombo that carry. The ideal team fight's obviously 5-man Jarvan Orianna, but a pick onto an AD carry would suffice.
And what this does mean is that despite that gold difference that's ballooning so out of control for RNG, that they're never quite out of this. If they land the wombo combo, it doesn't matter. They have the burst.
You just have to look at their engage.
And you said it in the previous games, Rusty, but once a tank line gets ahead, they pretty much just stay there. And Clearlove and Mako, Clear was unloaded on in that last fight, and he just kept on swinging, kept on going.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's got that Gargoyle Stone play. Very difficult to kill now. You're looking for the Warmogs, I believe, and then he's fully set to go. At the same time, Mako is that other tank member, and he had a great laning phase. He's perfectly fine by resources. And so his ramped up to be near unkillable.
It's frankly also been great equalizers from Mouse that really split up that last fight. Yeah. He's making sure that Xiaohu and Uzi are, either separated from their tank line or on the front lines.
Yeah, laid right on top of them. And EDG actually setting up this top wave courtesy of Mouse. This will be an inner turret falling. It will be actually all of the outer and inner turrets gone now for RNG. They're trying to draw this line at the inhibitor.
The line is drawn with a 9k deficit, though, essentially here. EDG with that Baron, an extra 2k gold in the back pocket. They won a team fight before they took the objective. They have earned so much gold in the past 5 minutes.
And the thing is where Ashe once had kill pressure on this tank line because their big tank items hadn't come out yet, that time has now come and gone. Yes, she's looking for the last Whisper, but she also needs that other attack speed item. Uzi, he's going to tickle Clearlove at this point.
Well, as a play from EDG, it looks like they're backing away and deciding that they've taken enough from this Baron. And they'll actually back away, consolidate resources, and look for another. Is it the next Baron that EDG are now looking towards to try and cement this game?
It's always going to be an option for them, especially because that's, again, how they've been laying down the groundwork for a lot of these victories. I'm not going to call it a gimmick, but it is kind of a one playbook team, but hold on.
The arrow connects onto Mako. He's actually holding his ultimate for now. Shockwave will drag him back. Uzi will get out of that one with a Quicksilver Sash. MLXG knocked up. They're actually going for the tank line. Knocked into the back. MLXG's down.
They take out the jungler of RNG and EDG in a 4 versus 5 with no Shockwave or Ash Arrow. They barrel down mid.
Look at how much respect RNG is showing. They back away completely. They know if they die here, it's the game, it's the series, it's the championship.
Uzi is watching his 2-0 lead for a domestic title crumble like the base before his eyes. And the big difference was the tank line, the fact that MLXG just got shredded and EDG's tank lines are practically untouched.
They're going again. They're looking towards the top lane inner.
They cannot die here. RNG cannot lose any more members. Let me call it out. He'll flash out this one, but Clear's here with open arms to receive him. Uzi, he's trying to turn away, and this should be enough healing. Lemmy just managed to escape, but the tower's down. EDG get what they came for.
And I have no idea where they are finding this momentum. I don't know what it is. It has to be Clear Love. He's the only consistent member of all of their titles, now looking for their 5th one. He finds it somehow.
He finds it for himself, but he finds it for the team as well, Frost. Like, they literally have a rookie here in the form of iBoy, who has played 18 games before heading into this final, and it's working.
They've got everything going for them now, EDG. You cannot believe that iBoy could perform this well in a final. The rest of the team's corralled around him. Games 1 and 2 aside, we're in a 5th game now, and EDG do not look like slowing down.
I just feel like he's linked arms with Mako and Clear Love, and he's just skipping his way towards Worlds.
Honestly, that Uzi fan club dead silent. I'm looking around the arena and I hear so many cheers for EDG. Now they've livened up. They've realized that he needs their help right now.
EDG yelled at him, Pulse. What else are they going to do?
They're screaming Jaya means refuel or good luck. Fuel the flames. So the crowd here knows it. We can see it being prepped. The timer is there on your screen, 1 minute 20. This is coming to the Coliseum. The walls are being built, the gladiators are entering, and one person will exit with the title.
MLXG sitting this push, but they've noticed he's literally sitting on a ward, so he'll back off in towards this base. And EDG are setting up for another push, keeping up this pressure.
They have 1 minute where they can look for a cheeky pick, throw a cooldown here. It'll be back up by the time the Baron's there.
There's only so much base they have left to defend. Once again, Mako threatens. At any moment, EDG can win the entire thing.
Jiahu zoning away with the ball, doing his best. Ming trying to do the same, but he's just a calmer at this point in time. Inhibitors down. 2 inhibs have fallen. Uzi loses the arrow. He moves on to Clearlove. He's backing away, flag drag, where's Cataclysm? Well, it's all the ultimate thrown out. Massive cast from MLXG. And the ultimate used by Jiahu. They take down Mouse. Mako now under attack, under fire. Scout, call out, flag, drag, ultimate. Scout needs to back this one away. Clearlove needs to disengage from this fight.
And RNG will not go quietly into the night. That was a frame-perfect QSS from Uzi on the Clear Love ultimate. Just continued to walk down and force EDG out of the base.
He'll do everything in his power to hold on to this game. Xiaohu's Shockwave was there, but most importantly, Letme's aligned with Uzi. Once the arrow's on, they follow it. RNG, they've teleported in. They're not going to let EDG take this.
But there's no massive cooldowns left. There's no Cataclysm, no Shockwave, no arrow.
Letme. He's looking at this entire line of VDG. MLXG over the wall, puts it back by Mako, and it will be spited by Clearlove.
But look at Uzi.
He's under attack. He's trying to retreat. Scout turns the corner. The chase down. Clearlove may have to be the sacrificial boar in this one. He flashes the wall, and RNG are hunting. They're looking for targets, but these recalls are fast.
Oh, the desperation. Scout!
He was in the bushes. He was waiting for Xiaohu, but it's not enough damage. Mako, it bought time for him to escape.
He gave enough time for Mako to get out perfectly fine. The Baron buff is going to be in every single member of EDG's hands. And the gold lead is still over 10,000.
And that was the window. That was the opportunity for RNG, and they knew it. We take a look at the fight that really started this. Again, so many vital cooldowns. The fact that Mouse gets off the equalizer and then absorbs the shockwave. Yes, he goes down, but he did his job.
He certainly did. You saw the cleanse from Uzi. That was actually sick. They follow Scout, but look at the mechanics coming out of him. You don't get to look at them. Back to the game. Cop that.
Now back to me.
Yes, I'm Old Spicy.
You smell great, Rusty.
EDG smell victory right now. They have another Baron. And pretty much both things happened. They crushed the base and then they took the Baron. And they have this for another 2 minutes where they can solidify this win for us.
But have they crushed RNG? Like, that's the thing. That was the one window they had. Now it's 2 inhibs down, looking at a third one. If they lose here, if they die here, that's the game. That's the season.
Approaching this tower. Just needs one spark to start it all off. And RNG have to deal with 2 super minion waves, pushing in the top, pushing in the mid.
Yeah, that's what the EDG don't need to be the spark to set it all off. They can put Rumble to top lane if they want to empower the Baron minions on super minion waves. They can put him anywhere they'd like, but they're just going to be slow. They're going to respect. RNG are the ones that have the onus on them. They have to engage. They have to prevent something from happening.
I actually think it's a pretty big mistake unless EDG just pull the trigger now, not to be using, you know, the split push pressure. I understand 5-man stacking and just allowing the super creeps to do work for you, but there's so much wave clear on RNG. And inhib respawns. These 2 inhibs were taken very close together. EDG, they've lost a lot of momentum on this Baron.
I mean, it was mistimed, but what does this turn into now? An Elder Dragon that's going to be uncontested from RNG. They'll get to see it go down, courtesy of that drone flying over from Uzi.
And now they sprint everywhere around on Summoner's Rift as the Elder empowers 2 Cloud Drakes. The thing about the Elder Dragon and why I still respect this from EDG, they don't have to break the base of RNG. The base is broken. They can just use this to get into the already open and bare inhibitors.
Try and crush these down one more time. Mako is heading up the rear. 2 teleport wards are being shown right now, courtesy of the observers.
No teleport from Let Me, so it's not a possibility.
Yep, and it will just take this inhibitor once again. Being very cautious, tapping away slowly as they can. And there it is again, mid inhib down.
And unfortunately, all eyes really do need to look on Xiaohu. He got picked out multiple times on key moments. Yes, he's hit a couple of nice shockwaves, but this is not the little tiger that needed to show up in Game 5 that made that promise to Uzi.
The Chain of Corruption missing. Teleport used by Mouse. He wants to keep up the pressure right here. Use this last little bit of Baron. See if they can finally crack this tower. Scout stepping up. We've got the front line here as well to defend. MLXG sees if he has the opportunity. See if he finds a carry in his sights. But the tower's down. RNG, where's the response? Uzi is hammering down on top of Clearlove.
He's trying so hard to push them back, Uzi. He is really putting it all out there on the Rift. MLXG with the body slam forwards. He had the flash. He was looking for an opportunity, but just body slams and doesn't get anything out of the side of EDG. And so they have to concede the structures.
All eyes need to be on Mako right now. This guy is just hunting for someone to step a sliver out of position.
And it's always going to be Uzi that he's looking to catch, but the QSS and flash are up and available. Banshees is there for Xiaohu with a cleanse and flash of his own. It's no easy task to find those picks, but Mako can.
It's getting to a bubbling point. Just one engage, anything from anybody. Both teams playing this so slowly around this inhibitor.
And it's so tense. There's so much respect being paid by EDG. They don't want to...
There it is! Mako started it! Here comes the equalizer! Ming's down! They follow up! Scout caught out! Cataclysm comes in! And Let Me off to the side! Mouse will put him in a body bag! And the rest of the team chases him down! EDG have denied Uzi once again! EDG, they're onto the Nexus. Mako pushing them back, shoving Uzi away. But here's Tenacious. He's trying, but he can't do it. EDG, the most dominant team the region has ever created, will claim their 5th LPL title.
Out of 8 attempts at a final, Edward Gaming have made it 6 times, and out of 6 appearances, they hold 5 titles.
And this is the first time they've come in as underdogs, not expecting to beat RNG. RNG heavy favorites, but still they stand strong 0-2 down, and they get to hoist up their trophy in victory.
The reverse sweep is complete. It was 2-0 to RNG. They had it in their sights, and 3 times EDG denied them. And Uzi, once again, will not get a domestic final win.
It's got to hurt if you're RNG, not just Uzi. Xiaohu said he was going to drag him over the line if he had to, and he just could not quite get it. EDG proved to be the better team on the day.
The MVP was a tight race between Scout and Xiaohu. Xiaohu walked away with the title, but Scout walks away with the trophy.
And this is what it's about. EDG hoist the cup, the LPL title, once again in their house.
iBoy has played for 4.5 weeks competitively. He just turned of age. He just started. And in his first half split in the LPL, he gets to hold the trophy.
And he is flanked by some incredible members who helped him get there, but you cannot deny how well iBoy played.
Individual performances from EDG are to be commended. The thing about the 5th game that really just crescendoed it all was that the whole team had it.
And you can see the players on your screen. They usher in the support staff. It's Aaron, it's Nofeg. It is the entire group that makes them such a strong unit.
They're all the winners here today. Every single one of them, not just the players. Everyone on the bench, everybody in the support staff, everyone in the EDG house. Edward Gaming, once again, they've done it.
赢了让我们一起狂，输了一起扛，同样把掌声送给 RNG。现在我们大家可以看到场上我们的冠军队 EDG 即将披上我们的冠军战袍。接下来将会是为冠军来加冕的时刻。
Now
我们现在正在
it's our championship ceremony.
来到舞台前面，因为一
We'll have all EDG members standing in front of the stage.
而同时，我们也即将会
And we'll have a big prize money for them.
LPL 的夏季赛当中，到底谁是 MVP 呢？
And we'll also
好了，那
reveal
我们现在呢
who is the
先带
final
着小
MVP
小
of this
把衣服来我们
tournament.
穿好啊，好，来，我们不急。
They have their championship
这一
jacket.
刻看起来非常熟悉，因为在2016年夏季赛的总
This
决
scene
赛
looks
赛场
really
上，
familiar
也是 EDG 捧
because
起了
last
我
year,
们的冠军的奖杯。
2016 Summer Split final,
那
it's also
今年
EDG
大家可以看到5位领奖者
who rise up
当
the
中只有2位
championship
是和
trophy.
去年阵容当中是一样的，就是明凯和田野。
2 years,
那另外3
Clear
位
Love
其实是在今年加入
and
以后
Mako
1年的时间，完成了队伍的重新
are the 2 remaining members of
的
EDG,
调整
and they have
在最
added
后完
the
成
new
了大
members to the
翻盘
team.
为你们特别的高兴
And they have
来
given us
场
a
上跟大家说
really
一遍
nice reverse matchup. And now we'll have Clear Love to talk a little to our fans.
这是我们队伍第一次让追山，也是我第一次嘛。
This is the first time
很激动。然后
we made it back
非常感谢我的队友
from a 2-game deficit
一直很
in my career. So I'm really thankful to my teammates
就变得很容易
that we're a united
然后
team
一直相互信任，所以
and
说最后
Mako
才能
and me
完成
help
大
each
翻盘
other
所以说我觉得
to help the new
很感
members
谢队友
of the team
然后就这样
to improve. So huge thanks, huge props to my teammates.
其实我们队伍之前的训练赛表
Well,
现都不是特别好吧，就
we haven't been performing that well in the past scrims.
就
So
好好
I just have
地打
really grateful for
让我追上
all my
我觉得
teammates
能完成这个
that
成
helped
就的
me
话我觉得我队友都是特别棒的。
to come back from a 2-game deficit. And my team is the best.
我的内心毫无波动，甚至还想再亲这个奖杯一次。
Well, I'm really calm and I just want to kiss the trophy one more time.
就谢谢一直支持我们的粉丝。
Thank everyone, all the players, all the fans who's been supporting us from the start.
输了2盘，但后面
Even though we lost the first 2 games, but we still trust in each other. And we play as a team.
其实从
Thank you,
场
everyone.
上大家可以看得出，像小焦和 Mako，他2个人都有一些共鸣的地方。
Well,
因为我们这边小焦从青训营来到
we
我们
can
这
see
边
that iBoy and
然后对于
Mako
Mako 来说，从
have a lot of in
新人
common.
王一直到现在带
And
动
they're
全
the
队
new
其
bot
实我
lane.
们相信
A
一切的
rookie
一切
play with
都
a
是
veteran.
大家团队共同努力付出的
We
一个
can
结
see
果
how
那
team
我
can
们在
help
这
each
里
other to become
恭
a
喜我
better
们的冠
person.
军队的同时呢，我们也将会为他们来送上他们 应该得到的这份的荣耀。
So now,
让我们掌声来有请腾讯互娱合
let's
作部
welcome
的总经理、英雄联盟中国区总负责人黄林东先生和拳头游戏中国区的负责人
Head of
叶
Tencent League
强
Legend
生先生共同上台
Sage
为 EDG 颁发
and head of China, Riot China Esports, Johnson, to hand over the trophy.
OK， 你到这边以后，首先有请 Sage 来为我们的 EDG
Well,
送
first
上
off,
冠军
let's
奖
have
金。
Sage to present their huge prize money check.
啊，真的是非常激动的一个时刻。
Well, it's a
因为
really
大家看到
exciting
这场比赛
moment.
一开始的2比0，直接到最后的大翻盘的3比2。
'Cause
因为
nobody
在这边
expected a
看比赛
comeback.
全程都有在看的东东，不知道现在你的感想是什么样的？
I don't know how everyone's feeling. How are you feeling right now, Sage? Well, I'm really excited to witness this moment, to witness this comeback. And again, congrats EDG for winning the Summer Split final. I think both teams played really well. And I hope LPL, they can represent LPL to perform better, to perform good in 2017 World Championship.
是的。这其实是来自于我们英雄联盟官方对你们的一个美好的祝福，因为也将会和 RNG 一起去征战全球的总决赛嘛，对不对
Well, we wish EDG together with RNG to put up a good show in 2017 World Final. Now next up, Johnson. How are you feeling right now? I'm also really excited. It's a really nice show today. Both EDG and RNG, they have shown lots of sportsmanship. Even though they lost the first 2 games, but they still didn't give up. They tried their best to come back. So huge props to both teams. And I hope you guys can carry on the spirits to World Championship and to make LPL region proud. And now let's put an end into today's show. Who is going to be the final MVP? Let's show the result.
现在呢，我们的 MVP 已经出来了。
Now we have the MVP.
的奖杯一起正在走向舞台的路上。
And we also have the MVP trophy on the
可
way.
以先来到这边啊，我们的结果已经先有了。
Let's bring up the
好
MVP trophy.
那我们有请 Johnson 来为大家来公布一下。
Let's have Johnson to review who's the final
我
MVP.
们英雄联盟2017年夏季赛冠军赛
Today,
的 MVP 是
2017 LPL Summer Split final. And the final MVP is Scout.
哇！接下来有请 Johnson 来把我们的 MVP 奖座交到 Scout 手中。
Let's hand over Scout his trophy.
好，我们有请2位领导与我们的冠军队伍一起合影留念一张，好不好？这张的合影呢，其实也是饱含着所有人对于我们 LPL 赛区各支优秀的队伍的一种美好的祝愿。
Everyone is expecting to wish the 2 teams can perform better in 2017 World Championship in China. Let's wish them back in their journey going on.
OK， 谢谢我们的2位领导。我们再一次把奖座来交给到我们的 EDG， 再拍一张带着奖杯的合影，好不好？
Let's give them the trophy one more time and take a picture about this memorable moment.
随着今天这场BO5 3比2的最终落下帷幕，那我们在这里要恭喜 EDG、RNG 2支战队将会获得2017年全球总决赛的门票，
With the
其
end
中
to
夏
today's
季赛
matchups,
季全年积分第1的战队。 将会成为
we'll have
LPL 赛区的1号
EDG and RNG represent the LPL in 2017 World Championship. And EDG will be the first seed for LPL. And RNG will be the second seed for LPL region.
对于我们这一次周年庆和夏季总决赛的大力支持，在这里我们同样要来做一下告知。从明天开始 ，LPL 赛区
Starting from tomorrow,
全球总决赛剩下1张门票。
we'll have the world's qualifier in the next 2 days. Tomorrow, we'll have OMG to play against IG. This is also a long rivalry. Who is going to be the winner of tomorrow and fight against WE in the finale?
各大直播渠道辛苦工作的各位工作人员，我们要感谢我们的英雄联盟电视台英雄联盟赛事中心手机观看的我们的掌盟的各位同事们，也谢谢大家所有的观众们在这一刻。
Thanks for all the hard working. Thanks sponsorship. Thanks all the streaming platforms.
让我们明天继续相约北京五棵松体育馆。
This is an entertaining show, and I'll see you tomorrow. 60th anniversary continues tomorrow.
And congratulations to EDG. They will be the first seed representing Team China, which means RNG are second seed. And lo and behold, it's iBoy that hosts the trophy and walks it out of the arena.
Exactly right. And we said no one expected to come back, and we had 5 whole games that went all the way down to the wire. It was actually a very good performance out of both of these teams, and we saw moments of brilliance across the board. We just saw more of it from EDG in the end.
And likewise, we do have to give a special highlight to Scout, also coming away with the MVP trophy right at the end of it, the photo finish over Shamu.
Yeah. It was amazing stuff, you know, at the ceremony, and very humble at the end as well. But iBoy also saying that it actually felt pretty calm, actually, you know, after just coming in and casually just taking the summer finals here. And very impressive, you know, from him, but the entire team to actually come back from such a deficit.
Well, he's going to need that because the road only gets harder from here. Welcome to the international stage, iBoy.
Yeah, he's going as the first seed as well, and that's absolutely insane stuff, you know, to see out from him.
The expectations for him only increase after winning a tournament like this, only increase after being able to 1v1 Uzi and set his name on the international stage.
We only have a little bit more time, so any final thoughts from you two before we close the show?
I mean, I'm shocked. I did not expect EDG to come in and win this. I felt that they were strongly the underdogs, and I've never been so happy to be so wrong.
Well, Rusty gets to be a little bit smug over there. Called it.
We are going to take a look at the regional qualifier because, again, this is not the only LPL action this weekend. We still have to crown our final seed. So tomorrow it will be a best of 5 between Oh My God and Invictus Gaming. And the winner of that will then have to face Team WE for that third and final ticket to Worlds.
Some rematches in there that you can't help but be excited to look forward to. IGWE is one that stands out if they're able to get their victory over OMG. You can't help but be excited for that one.
Exactly. The fact that like one of those teams will be able to go and the other two are going to be eliminated, both those teams we could all see going to Worlds, honestly, at this point. But thank you so much to you guys for joining me here today and our production crew. We are going to close the show right there, so thank you so much to all of you at home for watching this show. It's been an incredible run, but it's not over yet. Tune in again tomorrow for those regional qualifiers.
The event has concluded. I want you to feel me. Don't act like you're